Okay, then now let's start working on our feed because that's the really important thing for our home screen. If you have a look at our demo over here, you can see here it's having this nice grid layout which is done by Masonry, and we are going to implement it in our project now. Okay, so let me open my Visual Studio Code, and over here let me bring this side, and I'll keep this one over here. Cool. So we already created a feed.jsx, so open it up. Okay. So for the time being, let's import all the necessary things what we need to have in the feed.jsx. So we absolutely need use state, and we need use effect hook. These two effect hook we need necessarily, and we need to import use params. We need to have this use params because when I click this web, you can see that it's sending that category name over there. We need to catch it and we need to feed it according, change the feed according to that. That's why we are using the param. So we need to fetch that parameter, params value from the URL. Okay. Then I'm going to import the masonry layout, masonry layout. So absolutely we not yet created this one, so we need to create it. Dot slash masonry layout, we need to create this one. So let's go ahead and create this, where you need to create it in the components. So right click new file, components.jsx, and then RAFC. Let's paste it. For time being we'll just keep it as it is, and let's import that thing. Okay, so I hope that will be, yep, that will be imported perfectly. Then what we need to do is we need to load the spinner. Okay, so this also we need to create dot slash spinner. This is nothing but when I changing over here, if I'm changing, having this nice spinner over here, right, loader for that particular thing. That's why we're having that spinner, and I'm going to import if while searching something, if anything is not found, I need to load from the assets dot slash assets. I'm having an svg like not found dot svg, so I'm having a file like that. So if you open up your assets folder, inside the assets folder we're having this not found dot svg, so we are going to use that svg. What is absolutely, let me show you over here. We having, so toys, yeah, we're having everything. So let me make it big, and if I choose this, yeah, this is that svg. Okay, so let's bring that inside our component. Cool. Now what we need to do is I'll create these states, few states, because we need to check the loading. Is it loading? We need to display this particular spinner, so I'm going to create a state to monitor that. So use state loading. For time being it's going to be false, not false. Okay, and we need to create the one more state, that's the state which going to monitor our state pins. Whenever the pins, that means these are the pins, these are all the pins inside here, these are all the pins. Whenever the pins is getting updated, we need to re-render the complete component. For that only we are creating this state. So const, not const, use state snippets, and then just type pins, press your tab key without clicking anywhere, then let's give it as a null. For the time being it will be null. Okay, then what we need to do is right after here it's showing that spinner is not at clear created, it's showing that error, so we'll go ahead and create that one. So right click the components and create that file spinner.jsx, and here RAFCE, and inside here we'll paste that one, save the changes. Now that error is gone. Okay, so next what we need to do is we need to write some styles over here. So before that, what I'm going to do is, if there is any error is coming, I'm just going to return it. Okay, so if you know, if not error, if it is loading, sorry, if it is loading, if loading is true, Okay, if loading is true, then return spinner. We are going to return the spinner, and inside the spinner I'm going to send a message as a prop. Okay, I'm going to send a message. What is the message I'm going to send? Is just new feeds are loading. Okay, so let's create the spinner. Let's do some customizations for your spinner. Let's go ahead for the spinner class. Open your spinner.js. So for spinner, we are using the React loader spinner. If you're searching for React loader spinner, let me expand it. Search for React loader spinner. You can find this first one. Click it, and this will load. And if you scroll down, you can see the documentation. Click here and look at that. These are the spinners. These are the different kinds of loaders are available. We are going to use this one, this particular one. Okay, so let me close it and bring it side over here. I'm going to import it. So import from React loader spinner. Inside this, we having the object called circles. We are going to load it that, and then I'm going to return that. And the spinner is taking one prop, that's the message prop, which we are sending over here. And then we are going to render a component here. We are going to render. So div, okay. Inside this div, it's going to have a particular class and all those things. So let's say class name. Class name is equals to flex, and then flex column, and then it's going to be justify the center and the items center, and then width is going to be full, height is going to be full. Okay, then inside here we are going to bring that circles component which we imported from the React loader spinner, and this circle is going to have a quite few properties. That's the first, the color of the circle, so hash 00 b triple f. Then height of that height is going to be 80, and the width is going to be 80. After this, I'm going to display that paragraph with the text, the which we send from message, which we send it from the feed.jsx. So text is going to be large, and then text is going to be center, and padding it's going to be 2. Here I'm going to render that prop. Inside the dynamic block, let's print that message. Okay, so currently we can't see anything. So when we can see is, if this loading is true, you can see that nice loading over here. So see, we are getting that message, new feeds are getting loaded. Cool. So now the thing is working fine. So let's close the spinner.jsx. We don't need it anymore. Okay, and let me change it back to false. Okay, so now we can see the feed. So this part is working fine. Next, what we need to do is we need to work on this particular thing. So before loading that complete feed, I need to verify it. Okay, if what we need to do is, if we don't have anything pinned, for instance, when I'm filtering it here, I'm going to get some data. So if there is nothing to display, I need to display that custom image which we loaded over here. So to do that, I'm going to check a condition. What I'm going to do is, okay, so let me delete this. Over here I'm going to write an if condition. If not pins, this is the pin, the state which we created. If the not pins question mark condition under it dot length, if there is nothing to show, if the length there is length, if 0 means false. So if that length is nothing, then we need to render a different thing. So return, okay, return, let's add a semicolon over here, and then here what I'm going to do is I'm going to return a division with the class. So if there is nothing to show, then display this particular thing. So class name, it's equals width is going to be full, and height is going to be screen flex column, and before this you need to add it as a flex Okay, and then justify center items center, and inside this division we are going to display a text sorry. Okay, and then a nice smiley over there. Cool, sorry. Okay, no feed available, currently no feed available, and we need to display that image over here. And the source, what is that source? It's absolutely we term not found. And then we need to add a class name for this. I'm going to give a class is equals custom width property 30 percentage, and from the margin top use 5. Save the changes. Okay, so currently the pin is empty, that's why it's showing like this. So what happened, this went to the screen. Okay, cool. And let me this one, and if I make this one bigger, you can see that it's fit perfectly inside. And if I bring it inside here, it will works like this. So for this is for medium devices. Okay, and for apart from the medium devices, what we need to do with custom property, let's say 80 percentage. Okay, I think so that works cool. Okay, when it comes to big screen, that is going to be 30 percentage like this. When it comes to small screen, it's going to looks like this. Cool, that's working perfectly. Then what we need to do is, if there is any pin over there, we need to return a different thing. So right after here, I'm going to return. So this will be displayed only if the pin length is 0. Otherwise we need to return something. Otherwise return. Okay, I'm just going to verify it. So pins, if that is pins, and I'm going to use that masonry layout. Okay, and I'm going to pass the pins as a prop for that particular component pins. Save the changes. Currently still we are showing this. So for instance, if I'm changing this to true, let's say 1 or something. What we can say, for instance, if I'm sending an object like this, name sample. Okay, so let me keep it as null. It's not accepting anything. For instead of that, I'll just change this thing. Okay, so currently here it should display this masonry layout, but it's not displaying the masonry layout. Why? Let me go and inspect the elements console. What's the problem? What is the problem we are making over here? Uh, mm, mm, mm. Let me hide this. Still, I can't see that thing. Say refresh it. Home. Oops, we are condition rendering it, right? That's why it's not working. My bad. So here we are checking the pins. Only if the pins, we are condition rendering it. That's why it's not working. So let me delete this. Now we can see that masonry layout. Actually, what's the problem is pin is over here null. Here we are doing the conditional rendering. That's why the pin is not working. So our, if it is not having anything, it's bringing that data over here. So everything, it's working fine as we expected, but this is not a proper thing. We need to bring that data. So to bring that data, what I'm going to do is, so first we need to understand that even this need to load the feed, even if there is anything when we are clicking any filters, that's need to load that particular filter, and if nothing else, it need to load everything. Okay, so to do that, first we need to fix the category. We need to bring the dynamic category, then we need to load the data. That's what we are going to do next.